So, use is on we're doing a 75 hard together. Now you have tried it before. You went through it. What I'm like kind of interested in, I mean, I don't know, a little bit. So people like a lot of people probably won't know who you are, right?
Mm-mm.
So give like a little bit of a rundown of like why did you do 75 hard again? What was it like the first time, the second time, and not only between those two 75 hards, but like why do you think it's important to you to even try a 75 hard? Like what's in it for you?
All right. So the first time I did 75 hard, I failed, obviously. And, this time it was a little different because I had you and just knowing who you are as a character and just the person, the man you are, it's motivating. It's like there's always something to accomplish every single day. Just having you on my phone, just texting you, calling you, it's very motivating, which is why this time it's going really well and a lot better in terms of sobriety and everything. And I obviously have gone sober before because as a Muslim, there's Ramadan.
Yeah.
But like during Ramadan, you feel like you have to. Not you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
You have to go sober. So this time around, it's mainly just naturally, just for me, for the benefits of me, just being a better person. And when I found out that you would be there by my side, I was like, this is my chance. I can't miss this window. Let me just attack it full speed and get rid of all the bad habits that I used to do. And it was just smoking weed. Mainly that was like very...
Yeah, that was like your main thing.
It was
We
my
were talking
main-
about it like... Because it's, with how like, for me, right, like using and stuff, it was like I had a favorite, right? Adderall was like my go-to, was like obsessed with it, always wanted to have Adderall. And then if I didn't have Adderall, I'd mix in other things to try to, I smoked a ton of weed too. It used to be like a daily thing. But,
Yeah, like when we talk, like when I'm saying I was really like hooked on weed, it was like everything that I would do. It would be as simple as going to the car wash. I wouldn't do that before smoking weed. I just liked being high. I liked being that high and the car wash and just everything just being so clouded
yeah.
up there. Just, I always liked it for some reason, but ever since we started the 75 hard, in fact, I found ways and different things that why I really actually do appreciate just not smoking, It's just like, it's a different way of life that I truly appreciate and recommend everybody to try it.
Yeah, like you're trying to do like your thing is like like what you came to realize, right? Is, and you probably always like, I feel like a lot of people always know this too, but it's like smoking weed every day or using whatever every day. Like you think it's enhancing these things, but really it's just like clouding you, like you said. It's like pushing away from what you're really trying to do, right?
What you really need to do, and just like I was explaining this to one of my buddies the other day, it was the most simplest of tasks that just needs to be done every day, and you smoke, you wouldn't get it done. You just fall back into that lazy nature, that lazy mindset, and you just like wouldn't get it done. It would be so simple as running an errand, and you just wouldn't do it just because you just felt lazy. But it's just those simple tasks that you do and combine them. It adds up, and it just again builds you as a person, and it's just not it for me.
Yeah. Like, so when you said in the 75 hard this time, like, you like that you had me around,
Mm-hmm.
and equally so, like, I like having you around too. Like, we kind of like work in with each other, and I'm wondering, like, that could even somehow, I don't know. I feel like it's important to have people around you that have a similar mindset, right?
For sure. And it's just that saying, you are who you surround yourself with. You know,
dude.
like that group of people you surround yourself with, you will fall into those habits. You will start doing the same things that you are a mirror to the people you surround yourself
The
with.
cliches, dude. Like, it's crazy.
It's cliche. It's so cliche,
But
but it's
they're
true.
fucking real.
It's true. Another thing I learned: being real isn't being mean. You know, like just because you're speaking your mind, and everybody has their time for everything.
Being real
isn't being mean.
isn't being mean. I
Because
feel like I gotta work on that.
Because sometimes, you know, you just need to say it how it is.
Yeah.
With anything.
Yeah.
Sobriety, with how you are, because nobody knows you better than you. And when people come up to, when I'm out, for example, at a bar or just with my friends, just because I want to be with them and I'm just sober, not doing anything, just chilling, just mainly there because I wanted to see my friends, and then it's almost like they look at me like I have 5 different eyes. It's just like, why are you not drinking? Why are you sober? It's just like, listen, don't let me get in the way of you having... I'm fine. Don't let me get in the way of you having fun. I'll be fine regardless. Like, you do you.
So, what's your interpretation with that? With, like, realness versus being mean?
So it's like...
Like, you'll just tell them that you're good, right? But you're not gonna attack them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. And it's just like... Sometimes, like me personally,
it can be hard though, you know?
Yeah.
Because you want, I don't know, I feel like this is a better way, right? Especially with where you and I came from, like our typical nights usually before, right?
Right. Staying up 4
So,
a.m.
yeah, when you see people doing that, and like you did it, and you see people doing it all the time, I don't know. You wanna kind of be like, you know you can do this. You know you're better than that. You know you. But then it's like,
I really don't, not anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a different lifestyle that 75 Hard has taught me, or is still teaching me. I'm still in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Still in the middle of it. And you know, when I was saying being real isn't being mean, it's because sometimes, like, I will, when I say things how it is, I will come across like a little with a different tone.
Yeah. No, I
But I'm not trying to be hateful or mean. It's just, this is for me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough balance.
It is a tough balance. You want to go out, you want to see your friends, but at the same time, you're not doing half the things they're doing, or anything at all. And you're just...
Yeah. And like to that point again where it's like you want the best. It's really because you want like the best, right?
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, there's, for me at least, like when I got sober and stuff, there was like the element of like, again, like I wanted somebody else to like do this with me, but like a lot of people just didn't want to do it. Yeah.
Definitely having that person with you, or just another person, individual there, helps a lot.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. Because on your bad days, on your off days, I'll call you and then you push me. You have your bad days, you'll call me, I'll push you.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice just having somebody to reflect. Like,
we got a good system going.
Good system, consistent. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's very nice. And yeah, I said earlier, I recommend everybody to do it. Like, everybody has their own things and addictions. Try to lean off of it and just see how your life goes, and pick up new hobbies, and it's life-changing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you're going through like the switch up, new phase. I'm like I'm pretty interested. How are I don't know. You're from Abu Dhabi.
Indeed.
Lived there until 17?
Yeah, until I was like 17.
So, I don't know. Could you do like a little breakdown a little bit to like what led you to the first 75 Hard from 17 to you're now 21? So maybe like kind of a little bit of...
Without sugarcoating anything, like even when I used to live in Abu Dhabi, I would still like party, you know? I'd still like to go out with my friends, socially drink. And, you know, and I moved here, and it was also it was a new lifestyle, new chapter. So I was just trying to fit in.
It's a crazy move.
Very big transition.
Abu Dhabi to
yeah, like that first winter, depressing.
Fact.
Depressing. Like, I have never seen snow before I moved here. And then I saw snow for the first time, like, on my way back from school. I was on the school bus. And I was like, holy shit, like, this is snow. I've never seen snow before. And then after the first day, I got so bored and annoyed of it. And I'm just like, all right, now it's just getting...
It's not, there's the hype.
Yeah, it's just getting overboard. And then I wasn't used to, like, losing 1 hour of sunlight and then having just, like, that, what I like to call it now, winter arc. Because 75 hard.
Winter arc, yeah, it's real.
It's real.
You're getting in it.
And it's nice. It's, like, really shows,
It is
like...
pretty good.
It really shows, like, all right, what are you made out of, in a way? You know, like, are you going to let this winner win, in a way? But the transition was huge. Luckily, I have a good trait of, like, not to boast or be cocky about it in any way, but I can mingle with anyone and everyone, you know?
I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean we have the same views, but, you know, we'll talk, you know, we'll get along. And that's why, like, moving here was, and making friends was easier and all that, and having a good, and finding my group of friends. And once I found that, I was settled in, and, like, when my weed addiction really started when I moved to America. So prior to that, when I used to live in Abu Dhabi, I never smoked. I never did anything like that. And I moved here and I just got really hooked on it. And back to what I was saying, it, like, started off as one hit and then led it to 2, then 3, 4 times a day. And then I always knew in the back of my mind that this isn't something I'm going to be doing forever, you know? And I always have those thoughts in my head, like, I'm not gonna be doing this forever, like, when are you gonna stop? Like, it was always like a me, myself, and I type of conversation. And when you presented the 75 hard opportunity, I just cut it all out. Like, I'm still in the middle of it, you know, like, I would be lying to you if I told you sometimes I would, like, you know, get the itch or whatever, but it's nothing hard to overcome. Nothing tough to overcome.
You don't think so?
No. Because at the end of the day...
So what helps you?
What helps me?
I mean, you said, like, you and me, we both got it, but, like, you know, when you're, like, I don't know, down and out, maybe you're, like, feeling it. You got, like, the edge coming in, like, I don't know. What's something, what do you do? So, like, the first 3 days, for example, of 75... break it down a little bit like that.
So, like, the first 3 days of 75 hard, alright, I was going through it. I would have sleep. Those first 3 nights were sleepless nights, the sweats, everything. Like, it was the pure definition of just breaking me down, breaking my mentality, my old habits, my old mentality. And then, you know, I live on a college campus. It's everywhere around me. Everyone does it around me. Everyone uses weed. So I would see it, and then I would just, all right, you gotta do something. You gotta do something active, do something that will get your mind off of it. So I'd rush to the gym. Like, no thinking. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do legs or back and bar. Just get to the gym.
Really?
Do something else. Swear to God. And reading helps. And another thing that I'm very glad that why I'm doing 75 hard is I'm praying 5 times a day as a Muslim. As a Muslim, that's a bare minimum of what you should be doing. And that, in my honest opinion, what really helps me, when I get the itch, I'll just go pray my prayer that I have to do. And then it's very soothing. It's very calming. It's very relaxing. It really helps me a lot. And then I really, like, after I pray, it's just like nothing, no itch was even there. Nothing. Yeah.
And you added praying to your 75 hard, right?
Yeah, because prior to 75 hard, I'm a Muslim. I always said I was a Muslim, but my praying scenario wasn't really there. Like, I never used to really pray 5 times a day. Like, except like when I have to, like I said, when Ramadan comes, okay, now it's time to pray, now it's time to fast, now it's time to rekindle my faith. But now it's not Ramadan, it's just a regular day every single day, but just better habits and a better lifestyle. And I'm like, me putting that praying and everything in my day, my day-to-day life, really helps. Really helps because I feel like I have that sense of guard on me in a way. You know, it's hard for obviously you to understand, or anybody else who isn't a Muslim and doesn't pray, but I swear to God, it's just like, as soon as I'm done, as soon as I end the prayer, I'm just up at the most relaxed, calm. All right, now, and it like makes me think better. All right, now what do I need to do? Now what's the next step? What needs to get done? What do I have to do on my day-to-day basis that I didn't do yet that needs to be done? AKA like the simple tasks that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like reading. I really like reading. And like for those who know me, like really know me, I never read a book really. Like I would try, but like, dude, I just found it so boring. I just never would want to read. I never found it useful at all. But it's just like useful.
Use?
Don't say it. Full.
Useful. Okay,
very useful. I thought you were gonna say something else.
No, I would never. Not on the pod.
And then now I find it really useful that I'm reading, adding, and it's just like every day I'm finding new habits and new things to do that distracts me. And then it reaches to a point where it's just like, I haven't even, like there will be days during the 75 hard I haven't had the itch once.
And like when you say distracts, you could even interpret it as like, it actually kind of helps you see things even better. So it's not
clearer.
Not only like it distract from like doing the shitty stuff, but it's like because so you can see what you want to do.
Yeah.
Things you want to accomplish. Because the whole point, like one of the things that I say, like the point of trying out sobriety and everything, it's not just to be sober, right?
Yeah.
What's the point of trying sobriety if, you know, you're still going to be like miserable or you're not going to try to do new things that you want to do, right? The point of sobriety is giving you that ability to be able to go and do those things you want to do, accomplish things you want. So distract from like the drugs and stuff, but it ultimately is so that you can sort of enhance that vision a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And you've noticed that, right?
I have noticed.
Like, what do you think? What would you say is like maybe the best thing that you've seen so far? If you had to if somebody is on the fence, right? Think of you maybe a couple months ago. If you're talking to that person now, what would you say to get them in to try it?
To 75 hard?
Yeah, 75 hard.
I would just start listing the benefits, really. You know, like, for example, right before break started, I was having a rough night. I was just kind of skitzed myself out. And then it was middle of the week.
Like last week, right?
Yeah. It was the middle of the week, you know, a regular weeknight. And it was close to midnight. And I was like, all right, I need to relax. I'm going to go on a run. And went on a run, and I see drunk people walking out of the bar. And back to what you were saying, like, that could have been me a couple months ago. That was me a couple months ago. And you can't compare. That mentality that you have of partying and just going out and wanting to do shitty things and it's just, I wouldn't want to say it's shitty because to each be their own, eh? But
yeah, right. That's like that part again where like being real versus being mean.
Right. Being real versus being mean. Like, this is just me being real. You walk out drunk and then you see me going on a run, wanting to better myself, wanting to create better habits, wanting to have a better lifestyle. And then it's just those people who are just stuck in that same level. Like, it's honestly, for me, it's hard to compare because the mentality I'm in right now, I would know what to say to my past self, but it would be a lot harder to convince. You know, it's just everybody has their own time.
You're in that mind.
You're in that mind of wanting to party, wanting to go out, wanting to be social, whatever. But you can still do all that. You know, you can still go out, have fun with your friends, but without all the extra stuff.
Yeah, like, you know, you also don't need to do it like, you know, like you and me, we went to a club recently, like we were watching like a DJ and stuff, and like, I'll get down with that. Like, I actually like those venues. I like the EDM. I like, but like, every weekend, no way.
Yeah, it's like,
because what are you building yourself to look forward to, you know?
Right.
When you're just thinking about what's next. I mean, you and I spoke before about like with like specifically with DJs and that kind of vibe. Like,
right.
If you get into that, then
you get hooked.
You just get into it, you know?
You get
and that's
hooked.
all you look forward to.
Every single weekend.
So that's something with like sobriety, you know?
And
you can think more long term.
Speaking of that night, actually, when me and you went out, dude, I honestly had a blast. I had a really good time. Like, we were with a lot of our friends.
Dude, I've like, people think you need to be fucked up to like listen to music. I don't know. You really don't.
Like,
you really don't.
Dude, like,
you really don't.
Me and you were passing our water bottles.
Yeah,
vibing, having a great time, and then I would just see people falling off the pillar, for example, because they're too hammered to stand on their 10 toes.
Yeah, and then they're like, I don't know, you're not even like, what are you
like
enjoying?
Busting their ass, falling off the pillar. I'm like, couldn't be me anymore.
Yeah, it couldn't be me. Like, I'll still go crazy at those clubs, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
When I go, like, if I go to like a festival or whatever, I'll still, because I like the music, you know? Because I've gotten like sober, right? Like, my ability to experience, I don't know, dopamine, whatever the fuck it happens.
Like, real dopamine.
Yeah, like when you're at a baseline is more like this, then like when you do stuff you want to do, you'll get like more of a natural high. You know, you get more of a kick out of it.
Yeah, and like, also, some people at that club ask me like, what are you on? Or like, sometimes people would ask me like, are you doing anything? Like,
classic.
And like,
this is a theme that I've noticed.
I'm sober, brother. I'm just having a good time. Like, people think that you need to be on something to have fun, you know?
Yeah, and then there's also that like whole culture where like, I don't know, it's just like fun to make fun of us. And like, I get it, you know? But then you gotta, I don't know, I feel like when like, people will just make a joke about like, oh, you're like being a hardo, like, no way you actually can have fun, or like, you're being a hardo, like, what's the point? Like, you can just relax for like a weekend here and there. But
that's the thing. Relax. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean I need a beer. I'm relaxed, or I need to go smoke a joint. It has
get hype. It's like, you don't
hype.
need to get hype. And if you want to get hype, you can get like fucking hype.
Yeah,
you know?
it's all how you look at it. All how you look at things. It's the mentality that we were saying. It's just, you can't compare it. You can't. It's when I entered this state of mentality, it's like, I realized it's just, yeah, you can't compare it, man. It's kind of hard to pinpoint the exact word I want to use, but it's just
like what it's like being sober and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Because like me, before I got sober, like I've said this before, like I was number one asshole kid who would like shit on people who weren't drinking. I'd be like the number one person in your face, like, chug, chug, chug. Why aren't you taking a hit? Go more, go more. I was the exact like opposite end of where I'm at now, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of came like a little full circle, actually.
I was just took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say.
On the same page. So, you know, I did it. I was complete fucking degen. Drinking, using all the time.
The way I like to look at it was like a phase for me now. Everybody goes through phases. Everybody evolves every single day. It's just a matter of how you want to do it. You know? Everybody evolves every single day. And like for me, that D-Gen, I look at it now, like me being a D-Gen was a phase. It was truly a phase. And the goal from the 75 hard, like the real challenge, is post 75 hard. Am I gonna go back to smoking? Am I really gonna go crack open another beer? You know? And it's just, the goal is to not. By all the habits that the better habits that I'm building throughout the 75 hard, just not to,
Yeah, it's a tough thing, like a phase or like not I don't know. I just look at it as like that character, that person was still me. I'm still that person, you know?
Correct.
Phase or not, like I know, watch out with hitting the microphone, like jack it up. But how I connect, because I know that I can still fall into that. It's possible, of course.
It is.
So you have to be able to set yourself up for like forgiving yourself too, if you fuck up. Yeah. Because it's a process, right? You know?
Relapsing?
If you just like are able to just stop, and then like it's easy to just put that old person in a nice compartmentalized thing, and it's like I'm not that person anymore.
Put it in
like
a file,
you can really become that person again. You know?
You can easily open that drawer again, pick up that file. Oh, how are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. And so the ability to be able to be chill with that person, because it's like a tough balance. You know, you want to be like, you want to be able to do it. You know it's good for you and stuff.
Stronger mentality and everything.
Yeah, but then if you fuck up, when you fuck up, whatever it might be, you got to be able to have like that mindset where it's like, okay, you got to forgive yourself. You got to be nice to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know that you did it before. You can do it again.
But it doesn't, you could still, it shouldn't change the flow of things. It shouldn't change like what you've been doing the past couple of months. Like you fuck up once, it's okay. Pick your head back up and continue all what you,
because it's fear
to
of
do.
Failure, you know? Like,
you gotta fail to succeed.
Some people won't try sobriety even if they want to, because they're like, I don't think I can make it a week. I don't think I can make it tonight. So then they just won't try, because it's easier to know that you won't fail if you stay at a steady state of,
it's all what you tell
below
yourself.
Of what you want to be.
It's all what you tell yourself. I mean, back to what I was saying about the first 3 days, it was like, it was tough, man. Like I had to kind of in a way like lock myself in. Like, no. Keep telling yourself, no. It's not it. Like, now you're entering a new chapter in your life. You're entering a new lifestyle in your life. Like, get used to it.
Yeah.
And then when I got over that hump, I was able to surround myself, for example, who smoke weed and not smoke. Because in the back of my mind, I know what I'm doing is for the better for myself. Like, everybody has their own time. Everybody has their own time when to, like, not do things.
Yeah.
You know? It's also, it's a different world going out sober. It's in a good way. You know, like you look at everyone, all your friends, and you like they're gonna wake up either very late or very hungover, and then there's you who will wake up on the same exact time that you've been waking up every morning, and then start your day. And do your regular habits that you've been training to do. And then it's the people and then you think about the people that you were just out with last night. They're probably feeling like shit. They're fucking hungover. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Fucks you up, for days.
I didn't know if we could cuss on this or not. I just tried to keep a clean mouth, but.
Yeah, I try to do better at it, but sometimes it just happens, Still a DJ.
Yeah. DJ. Yeah.
what was I gonna say about it was with when you go out. When you go out with like people and you're sober, like you can, it's just so crazy. Like for me, the first time I ever like hung out with people after I got sober, like when everybody was drinking, I was like, oh my god, like I could actually see what it looked like for people who probably like drink too much or drink too little. Like, cause I was always fucked up, so I never fucking noticed if people were really like fucked up or not. I didn't give a shit.
You could tell, like, oh, like he's gonna have a really bad night. Oh, she's gonna wake up with a terrible morning. With a terrible
Yeah, it's
night.
like it's also just like you can just kind of see like how they drink too.
Right.
Because when I first went to something where I wasn't drinking, like dude, when I went out and shit, I would drink the entire fucking time. If there was like a quarter drink sitting around,
Give me
automatic. Automatic every time. And I'm walking around and like I'll see people not do that and I'll be like, oh my god, this is what like normal drinking looks like. Because there are people who can drink. Most people can drink normally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's another hard part that I had with sobriety is like the constant comparing myself to, you know?
Yeah.
Because you want to, it's like, it's easier to just say like, people who drink is just like, it's just degen behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people who can just drink and it's just like a casual thing for them.
Right. Like every single day.
A lot of people.
They've had a long day. I need a beer.
Yeah, or not even that. It might even just, it's like, it's little things that I've noticed like throughout sobriety. Like when somebody on a Saturday night, like when somebody says, no, I'm only going to have like one glass, I was never like that.
It's never one glass.
But some people can just have one glass.
Yeah, that's...
A lot of people can. A lot of people can just drink like a moderate amount or smoke or whatever, do a moderate. They do what they want to do. They say what they... And then there's people that you've seen, right? They'll be like, oh, I only want to have one drink tonight. Boom, blackout.
Doesn't turn.
Now you can see that so much more easily.
Right, you can differentiate that. And honestly, those people who can go out and moderate themselves, like you said, like have a puff, have a drink, that's still, I want to consider it discipline. You know, like, or they just tell themselves that they don't need the more of the limit. They don't need to exceed their limits. You know, like they know, those people who know their limits, that's good. That's really good. You know, like people who still have their habits of wanting to do things.
And then there's people who like can't control it, you know?
People who can't control it, who just go completely like crazy.
Yeah, like me.
Like us.
Yeah, the mind, it's a crazy thing, like addiction, because there's a genetic aspect and then there's a cultural aspect to it.
And that's what I feel
and
like.
And then it's also tough when like the idea of willpower is brought up.
I'm glad you said that word cultural, because me, like when I came and it was like social, like I said, I've never had an addiction to drinking. It was mainly my weed, but when it came for me to drink, it was all in like social settings, you know. It was, and I looked at it as, oh, like this is America, like this is their culture. I want to fit in.
Yeah, yeah.
And then me being sober realized, no, like there's a lot of still Americans who are part of the culture who are sober, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily need, and also you don't necessarily need to be in those settings.
Yeah, exactly.
Like being in those settings, like it's hard. Like it's different when you're there from the, like say there's a Thanksgiving party coming up, you know, if you're there from the beginning to the end, it's a lot different from when you just show up the last 10 minutes for example, you know, when you're there the whole time, you kind of, I'm talking about me, like I'll feel like a little like the black sheep, like not the black sheep, but like just I don't want to be there, you know, like it's everybody's doing their own thing, everybody's getting drunk,
you mean now?
Everybody's having a good time, like I don't want to be there. And it's just like, no, you guys are doing your own thing and I'm just like not doing anything that you guys are doing, so what's the point?
Moderation, balance. It is much more than just sobriety, right? Like through sobriety, like you can find like moderation, like going out having fun with friends. You don't need to try to do it every waking free moment.
Yeah.
You can like sprinkle in shit you want to do, you know.
Yeah. How was it like for you when you were abroad?
When
You
I was
were abroad for a long time, and from a man of traveling, I was so jealous. So extremely jealous, and like you were just traveling to all the places that I've been to before. Not all of them, but most of them. And it was just so nice, like seeing your videos and everything, but also you being sober. Like you were alone out there.
yeah.
90% of the time. You'd have your occasional, your dad would come see you and whatever, but 90% of the time you were alone.
Yeah.
And it was easy accessible for you.
Oh yeah.
You could always you could just walk out of your house and go to the first bar you see down the
Nobody
street
would
or
know.
whatever. Nobody would know.
Literally nobody would know.
Just you. Like, how was it for you? Because like you and I'm obviously very proud of you, bro. You were showing videos, you running around, going to the gym, like still having a nice life, still a healthy lifestyle, doing things you want in a different country with a different culture with different people. You know, like how was it?
Yeah, that was like I don't know, that whole experience was kind of like pretty uplifting with like my sobriety and everything. But when I went abroad, I was just coming up on 2 years sober, so I was like pretty good at, you know, I had a pretty good foundation going into it. Like, if I was only sober for maybe a couple months, you know, probably wouldn't have been the best idea.
Yeah.
But just something that's a big mindset thing again, right? Where it's, you know, in those times, there was a lot of things that I would tell myself to like help me through if I ever wanted to drink and stuff, but a lot of the thing is like, I would tell myself like, it really is only you that you're cheating, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it can lead to like you fucking up family and everything, but at the end of the day, like, I'm just trying to be like honest with myself and stuff. And so that helped me through it.
Because like you said, like that's huge. Like only you would know.
Even 75 hard, like it's still a challenge for me to like, you know, read those 10 pages a night, right? Sometimes I'll like get to page 8 and I'll be like so goddamn tired. I'm like, oh, for real, this happened. I'll get to like page 8 and I'll be like, nah, I'll just like.
Yeah, but
like,
why
but
do you
only me will know that I didn't read those 10 pages. Who the fuck am I like gonna impress?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I might get like some, but that's short term, and people will find out eventually.
Like,
if you have that character, if your character is about trying to scam shit or whatever, like little white lies, little white lie, little white lies, right? That's the whole point, is just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I feel like it brings more overall truth to like my character and what I'm trying to do if I focus on those little things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I came home one time and I didn't do like my run yet. I didn't do my outside thing. Went to the track at like midnight after like driving home from Penn State. It was a brutal day. Did not want to run.
I know, but you just have to power through it.
And if I wrote in that group chat that I did it, you guys would believe me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
and by the way, that group chat, like we don't, like that group chat is just there. I feel like for people who want to talk and like it was like, oh, I'm having a bad day or whatever. I can't do this.
Yeah, we gotta rekindle the
yeah
fire in there a little bit.
Yeah, there's no fire. But then again, the 75 hard. Yes, we're looking out for each other, but it's mainly for yourself.
Yeah, it's
you're
for you.
Doing it for you. Like you're not doing it to impress anybody. It's just.
Dude,
do you want to change?
That's the massive part about sobriety. Because when I first got sober, it was kind of like I was doing it for other people. People like, you know, they're like, oh, can you do it?
Can you do it?
You need to do it. Can you do it? We don't think so. And so then at first it was like, I'll show you. For real. That was like the first like 3 months of my sobriety.
That was me during Ramadan. Like, people didn't believe that I was done smoking, for example. I was like, why is it so hard to believe? You know?
Well, it's hard to believe, like, when you're a fucking degen.
Yeah, I guess. And, like, even now when I started 75 hard, like, I would tell people, it's so nice looking, like, the looks on their faces when you tell them that you don't do anything. They're like, you? Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude, it's sick. It's awesome. And it's just like, really, you don't smoke anymore? Yeah. It's nice. And it's like, being humble about it is also, because you don't want to compare.
Yeah, dude.
Comparing it, that's when you dig yourself a hole.
That's why it's like so weird, like talking about it. It's like trying to show people that it's better inherently is sort of like a comparison. It has to be.
It is.
Better in terms of what you're comparing it to this, but the idea of comparing, I don't know, it's tough. But the idea is from being honest, being real.
Being real ain't being mean.
Being real ain't being mean.